Okay, the last architect we'll talk about today is Christian de Portzamparc. It is the 9th of May 2023. Very important French architect. Let's read a little bit about him. Christian de Portzamparc was born, well, actually, he was born on May 5th. So I don't know why I'm talking about him today. I guess because on May 5th, there were many other architects that I had to talk about. So I moved him to May 9th. He's a French architect and urbanist. He graduated from the École Nationale des Beaux Arts in Paris in 1970 and has since been noted for his bold designs and artistic touch. His projects reflect a sensibility to the environment and to urbanism that is a founding principle of his work. In 1994, he was awarded the Pritzker Prize. We know that Jean Nouvel also received the Pritzker Prize. Personally, I think Jean Nouvel is a more interesting architect, but Christian de Portzamparc has a nice hair too. Well, Jean Nouvel doesn't have a lot of hair, but I think his architecture is more interesting. Anyway, drawings by Christian de Portzamparc, rather playful, no, and irresponsible. No, he's a very serious architect. Let's not joke. He built, I think, at least 2 skyscrapers in Manhattan, more phantasmagoric drawing. And this is a building that he built for Christian Dior. It helps to build for such high-end fashion people. The Luxembourg Philharmonia, a building less interesting, but I don't know why I start with it. Although in plan maybe it's not so uninteresting because of the, you know, the agitated play with these cubicles. But from the outside, look at it. It's almost dead. Sorry for being so abrupt. I don't like it. But I like the color. The fact that he used color, yes, and the interior is a little better than the exterior, but it's still a stiff, static, massive building. But this work, a very early work by Christian de Portzamparc, I do like. Quatre Pavés Water Tower. I don't know why the naming is half French, half English. Here it is. Not bad. Not bad at all. And it is a water tower. And it's rather large. I mean, look at it. You know, it's more impressive than l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Not bad. Too bad that later he built some buildings that are not as interesting as this one. Lille, Tour Credit Lyonnais. Well, Credit Lyonnais means bank, means money. So anything goes. But at least he didn't make an oppressive, money cathedral. It's a moderately manageable modernist here. Credit Lyonnais, Christian de Portzamparc, offices, all for the glory of the pocket, meaning the money. Latour sisters, this was a project that was not built, as far as I know. I think at La Défense. Yes, it was supposed to be at La Défense, but it was not built. Christian de Portzamparc. Jean Nouvel made a proposal too, but I don't have it here. Christian Dior in Seoul. Here it is. A building to eat up the money of the rich. A belt, 2,000 euros. Maybe 3,000, maybe 5,000, maybe 50,000. Who knows? Above a certain limit, money do not matter any longer in terms of their number. They are just numbers. As older people say that age is just a number. It's not true. I am telling you the truth. I'm confronted with getting old, and it's not just a number. Age is not just a number. It's just a wishful thinking of people who approach the end saying it's just a number. It's not true. But what is the relationship between years or age and money? Maybe there is some relationship. Although if you ask me now exactly what it is, I wouldn't be able to answer. Interesting hallucination here, architectural hallucination or phantasmagoria with this staircase with reflections and what can we say? You sit on that armchair or sofa and you contemplate a dress, and the dress is brought to you, and then you pay without even looking how much you paid because you have so much money that it doesn't matter. Christian Dior. Fortunately, there are second-hand stores where you can buy the same thing a few years later with almost nothing. Buy Christian Dior or Armani or Prada or anyway. The building is not bad, but it's serving the same gods, the untiring gods of profit making. Built in a factory, as you can see, and brought to the building site, perfectly built in the factory, in the in the atelier. Here is the temperamental intervention with words and some sketches of the architect of I almost said Christian Dior, of Christian de Portzamparc. Anything goes if you build for Christian Dior or Prada or Armani and so on. Anything goes. A sketch, an initial sketch, and then of course the need for drama finds its venting through the spirals of an interior staircase. Hello, Mr. De Portzamparc. Sorry, we are a little bit late. Today is the 9th of May, but your birthday was on the 5th of May. And shoes, shoes, shoes again, you know, like sacred objects displayed on those little platforms. Palais des Congrès de Paris is not a bad building. It's one of the better modern buildings actually in Paris. We see François Truffaut there, and then on the right, the worst dressed man in the world, and that is Pablo Picasso. It's hard to imagine how a great painter like him can dress so badly. I'm even contemplating writing a book called The Worst Dressed Man in the World, because I saw Picasso being dressed absolutely unacceptably. Anyway, but it's nice to see portraits of important creators, you know, right on the big facade of a building in Paris. François Truffaut, important, very important French filmmaker who died rather young, and then the Spaniard Picasso, who stares at us with his unendingly inquisitive eyes. And the building by Christian, Christian de Portzamparc. 157 New York, a skyscraper. And the skyscraper it is. Looking with one side towards Central Park. Prestigious location. Well, if you receive the Pritzker Prize in architecture, then you can expect one day someone who wants to build a skyscraper to knock at your door. I don't know about these, fibrillations on the facade, those curved parts. They seem to me a little bit ridiculous, but maybe I'm too I don't know how to say, to inhibit it. All it is. And what is this? Yes, it's the place, the health club, no, where you run without going anywhere. Now here we see the building by Christian de Portzamparc, and then we see the building by Shop, which is remarkable with its slim silhouette, both facing Central Park West. LVMH Tower in New York, another tower by Christian de Portzamparc, squeezed between two other buildings. Glass, glass, and glass again. Long live air conditioning. That is long live pollution. 400 Park Avenue South. This was a proposal. I don't know if he built it. I don't think he did. Well, it looks like he did. So this is the third skyscraper by Christian de Portzamparc. And since I ended my work on the PowerPoint presentation, he probably built a few others. The same unquestioned large usage of glass. Cidade das Artes, Rio de Janeiro, a dramatic sculptural building in a city with a lot of poverty, but here is the Temple of Art, Rio de Janeiro, with some exuberance, because Brazil is when not, but maybe even when confronted with a terrible poverty, is expressing its exuberance. It's in the blood of the Brazilians. And the building has some qualities, a little bit decorative, a lot of concrete, but it's not a bad building, I would say. Rio de Janeiro, Christian de Portzamparc. And the underbelly of the building is less ominous than similar culture buildings by Herzog and de Meuron, and we talked about them yesterday. But there is a little bit of demagogy here, because you see this splendor of architectural splendor, and you know actually that many artists struggle. So there is a distance now between the sublime architecture and the realities of life as confronted by most artists. Unless, of course, we talk about the worst dressed artist in the world, or the worst dressed man in the world, who used to receive, I'm talking about Picasso, who used to receive, as presents, famous pieces of, clothing from famous designers, just to wear them for, publicity. And he would just throw them on him without any consideration for color coordination or anything. It's incredible, considering he was a quintessential painter of the 20th century. Anyway, Christian de Portzamparc. Some agitation in the plan, some agitation in the section, lots of concrete, and the lonely man there. Empty spaces, the sketch, the plans. A rendering of the section. There has some virtues, this graphic work. Nexus 2, Japan. From his most modernist period, a less glorious phase in his activity. But postmodernism destroyed many architects. They almost destroyed Christian de Portzamparc as well. But maybe I'm too much of a moralist. Maybe postmodernism is just la joie de vivre. Although it makes me rather sad, this joie de vivre. Now we arrive at this cultural center in China. We, of course, with a double helix and with a loop, because the more restricted life is, the more we need the loop and double helixes and so on. We see one here in the building, and we see one also extending on water. It was built. Here it says in progress, but it was built. I have to update my PowerPoint presentation. Tour Masséna, Paris, 2011. These look like those two sisters towers. Or maybe it's another proposal. I don't know. I should know, after all. It's my presentation, but I am a little bit confused. Anyway, they were not built. Winery, Cheval Blanc. No, the White Horse. A winery. Interesting name. No? What does the White Horse have to do with the winery, with wine? Maybe the Black Horse or the Red Horse, but who saw a red horse? I don't know. I mean, it's an infatuation with a certain twisting, formal twisting, which probably wine is capable of provoking. Well, it's not very convincing for me, because it's a placidly bourgeois contortion. It's actually, very predictable in its alcoholic, poetry. It's too civilized, too clean, too industrially civilized, too, I don't know how to describe. At least here we see the wooden containers with wine, and that brings some reality to the whole thing. But when you see here, this could also be containers with ashes of people. A museum in Belgium. We are approaching the end of this presentation. Hergé, rather banal. I'm beginning to be tired of the presentations today, and particularly of Christian de Portzamparc. Although that bridge that goes, floats towards that hole in that, sculpted wall is perhaps okay, but this corner, and well, I like the fact that he uses color. That's good. All in all, I consider Christian de Portzamparc a lesser architect than Jean Nouvel, as I said. But that's my subjectivity. Someone else might think otherwise. The Citadel, Netherlands. Some kind of a hybrid project, I guess, but with commercial intent. A huge mall. I shop, therefore I am. To shop until you drop. What else to be done? And then that, deformed cross there, which could be read as some kind of disbelief in, religion, you could say, you know, or maybe it's I don't know if Jean Nouvel built his I'm sorry, his supermarket in his mall in London, but here there he oriented the rift into the building towards St. Paul Cathedral. Here I don't know, but why not? Maybe we shouldn't see a distorted cross there. It just happened that it's almost not almost, it's a distorted cross. But it's a commercial building. It's a commercial structure. You know, what do we look at you know, on the images on the facade? You know, food. You know, great smiles and DD things and Hotel Renaissance in Paris. I think it's very unconvincing with these waves, decorative as they are. A very, I mean, these titillations of form, these fibrillations are, I think they are very unconvincing. But that's my subjectivity. Well, we talked about the l'Arc de Triomphe. There it is on the left. So not far away from it. Is this on? No, it's not on Champs-Élysées, of course. Champs-Élysées is perpendicular on the arch. The City of Music in Paris, this is earlier work in East Wing. I think it's not far from Parc de la Villette. He built too much. The West Wing, more triumphal or triumphalist. Not for music, but for the industry of music, if I am to be malicious. But we see in the background here the building by Jean Nouvel, which I like, and yes, it is in the proximity of Parc de la Villette. So here we have two Pritzker Prize laureates, Jean Nouvel and Christian de Portzamparc. Headquarters for the press group Le Monde, Paris, a famous newspaper. I don't know what this is. Another building by Christian de Portzamparc. Now, because he was actually born, I remember now, in Casablanca in Morocco, and he was invited to build, I don't know, some kind of a large cultural center in Casablanca. And here it is. I don't know if I imagine they continue the works. The building site was opened, the construction started, but I never saw the whole building being finalized. So this is just the project. But yes, Christian de Portzamparc was, I'm sorry, please forgive me. my voice is leaving me. He was born in Casablanca. This was the imagined happiness and collective exuberance before the pandemic, and you know, the countless stars on the sky look enviously towards the humans who enjoy art and opulence and so on. La vie est belle. And the sketch for the building in Casablanca. And the construction began, and I'm sure it advanced by now. Maybe it was even finalized, the project. It's possible. Concrete. Concrete again. Who cares that concrete pollutes? Nantes tripod. I don't know what this is. Some housing complex in Nantes. And here he is, Christian de Portzamparc. We saw this one. I'm not going to show it again. I don't know. It's like, am I starting the presentation again? Fortunately, there is this young man with doing some acrobatics with his bicycle in front of that building. This one we saw. I don't know what's wrong with this presentation. Many things are wrong. We already saw it, but not these pictures. Yeah. Christian de Portzamparc was born in Casablanca. You can see below a few images from the famous film Casablanca, considered a beautiful love story. And in a way, this is what it is all about in architecture as well. Love, it is all about love, love and passion. Thank you. Here they are, Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart. Yes, life is beautiful when it doesn't end in disaster. And the French say, il n'y a pas d'amour heureux. There is no happy love. But when you look at these people, you could say nonsense. Casablanca, where Christian de Portzamparc was born. An American and a Swedish lady. The tension, the drama. Thank you.